Hey, my name is Darren Briscoe, and I will be talking about our project, basically touching base on mental health and management. Um, and this project is presented to you by Anaya Hill, Mary Wilson, Karen Hughes, Darren Briscoe, myself, Amani Taylor, Clay Dorset. So, to the next slide. So basically, I'll be talking about. My name is Darren Briscoe, and I'll be talking about the history and background of mental health. Mental health and its history started a while ago, back in the early 1900s, and it was brought to the public eye by a conference that was held in the state of New York, and the first establishment was founded in the UK, London. The term mental hygiene was a method used to keep one in a good mental state, to be happy again, healthy, and a self-care tactic to keep someone's mind in a safe mental state. These methods are crucial to someone having bad mental health issues. I think mental health hygiene practices are very important because it can definitely help clear the mind. It can definitely help people, going through any type of rough patches dealing with mental health. So it's a great outlet to be practicing mental hygiene. Clifford Beers was the originator of mental health hygiene movement, and he also dedicated time to creating a book on his own personal mental health journey that he had experienced. He had such a great impact on society that he was grabbing the attention of people that have certain mental health disorders. The U.S. National Committee for Hygiene started to focus more on mental health as far as having to help people with mental disorders and having a better understanding of mental health disabilities. Overall, mental hygiene is very important and should be practiced by everyone to keep a happier, healthier lifestyle. The importance of mental health awareness can help someone going through a rough time be able to seek help with whatever they're going through and pull them together with people who can relate to them so they can have some type of support system while going through different mental health emotions. So today, back then, mental health was frowned upon because it wasn't, a subject that was people touched on a lot. But I feel like in today's society, with social media, it brings it more to the light as far as people, broadcasting how they feel and walking people through their journey so other people can be able to relate to their mental health issues if they're going through something. So social media definitely played a big part of mental health in today's society.
Hi, my name is Quay Dorset. I am a business finance major, and I am going to speak about why mental health management is important. So, mental health is your mental status that guide people to handle everyday life and what comes with it. Having bad mental health can come from genetics, recreational drug use, psychological, and effect of traumatic events. At different stages in life, we experience good and bad that can lead to your mental status not being at its best. For example, those who are incarcerated live a different lifestyle than a citizen if released. It can lead to poor mental health like developing PTSD. Having a good mental status can make someone feel hopeful and meaningful in life. Thinking in a positive manner, confidence in stressful situations, and being optimistic will help with longevity. Symptoms of poor mental health can be lack of sleep, changes in your weight, mood swings, difficulty concentrating, being irritable, and having anxiety. Prevention of poor mental health will be finding a hobby, getting enough sleep, finding a therapist, gaining a mentor, and keeping a positive mindset.
My name is Anaya Hill, and I will be talking about how the environment contributes to mental health and management. So first off, we'll start with organizational environment and mental health. This includes leadership styles, workplace culture, policies, and physical surroundings that shape employee mental health outcomes. So we have to differentiate positive versus toxic workplaces. So we'll strive to do a positive workplace when being in management and leadership. So this includes supportive leadership and open communication, inclusive environments, and that often leads to reduction of stress. And toxic settings are on the contrary of positive workplaces. So toxic settings include increase of burnout, depression, and job dissatisfaction. So it basically creates a negative atmosphere in the workplace or an uncomfortable setting for employees. Next, the impact of external factors. So this can be public health crisis like COVID-19, economic pressure, so whether that's the presidential election, financial hardships, etc., and societal expectations have driven changes in mental health management approaches. So that also can include the Black Lives Matter movement and the Me Too movement. Corporate social responsibility, also known as CSR, companies are increasingly expected to promote mental health awareness internally and through community partnerships and initiatives. So this can just include standing up for what's right for your employees and going off of your employees' wants and needs within the company. And then lastly, legal and regulatory framework. These are laws like Americans with Disabilities Act, and they require employers to provide reasonable accommodations for mental health conditions, emphasizing proactive management.
In past situations, employees would allow stigma to prevent them from reaching out to their supervisors or higher ups because of just being scared to be seen as a weaker individual because of a mental illness, or being scared to lose their job just because of a mental illness. In the Middle Ages, mental illness was seen as a punishment from God, and people were thrown in madhouses. They were also cuffed to their beds, and they were also even burned at the stake just because they had a mental illness, because it was seen as witchcraft instead of just someone having a mental illness or mental challenge, because they just had no idea what that was. Mental health was also considered taboo within the workplace because it was always seen as work. You're just here to work. It's nothing about your mental health or anything like that. And there were minimal employee assistance programs like there are today. In the current situation, there are more EAPs, which is employee assistance programs. There are more wellness programs at an employee's disposal, and mental health days are recognized. And also some companies actually require you to take 2 or 3 mental health days within a year or work period or what have you. People are more inclined to ask their supervisors for mental health support as well. They're less scared to ask for help when they need it because it's more talked about. People know about it. It's more, and that brings me to my next point. The discussion of mental health in the workplace is more open and frequent. People are just more comfortable talking about it because social media has really helped with allowing people to talk about what they're going through mentally, because a lot of people are going through the same thing that you're going through 9 times out of 10. And lastly, you are no longer can be declined a job because of a mental illness that you may or may not have. A lot of people are scared to disclose their mental illness or any type of things they're going through just because they're scared they won't get a job. But employers can't decline you a job just because of a mental illness that you have. And now I will be passing this on to my next group member.
Hi, my name is Mary Wilson, and I'm going to be talking about recommendations. So, one key recommendation is to foster a strong psychosocial safety climate. This means that leadership should really prioritize mental health and create a culture where people feel safe talking about things like stress or burnout without the fear of being judged or feeling like they're going to lose their job. And when that kind of trust exists, it boosts morale, it reduces burnout, and it helps people stay engaged in their work. And another important piece is to offer flexibility and support systems with simple things such as giving them more flexible hours, giving them the option to be remote or hybrid, and offering wellness days. All of those 3 things can go a long way. And when that's paired with real support like employee assistance programs, access to counseling, and having managers that are actually trained in mental health, it shows that the company is serious about supporting its employees. It's also critical to design work that gives employees autonomy and balance in the office. And people need to feel like they have some sort of control over the tasks that they're doing and feeling like their voices are being heard and that their input really matters. So when you overload the staff without giving them a voice or a chance to speak up about how they feel about certain things, it leads to a lot of stress and disengagement in the office. So it's important to check in regularly and look at the amount of work that you're giving your employees and making sure that people feel recognized, heard, and motivated. And lastly, we need emotionally intelligent leadership. Managers should be trained to recognize when someone might be struggling emotionally and know how to respond with empathy and just showing that they actually care. And you can do this with skills like active listening, staying calm under pressure, and just being aware of mental health. All in all, can go a long way in building trust and making the workplace feel safe and supportive for all employees in the office. And now I am passing it on to my classmate.
Hi, my name is Karen Hughes, and today I'm going to be talking about future prospects of mental health in businesses. Managers should be trained. If managers are trained, then they can recognize the signs of stress, burnt out, and anxiety. This way, they will be able to implement things or activities in the workplace environment so that people won't get burnt out, stressed, and have anxiety. Flexibility should also be implemented in the workforce. This is beneficial because it can allow people to have a good work-life balance so that they aren't so stressed. Having regular check-ins and clear communication gives support to the team and to the employees, and they feel heard. All of these things can allow the employer and the employee to feel safe in the workforce. This also promotes a positive work environment, causing people to want to actually go to work and be productive at work. And businesses that have implemented these things have shown good results. And here are all of our references. Thank you for listening to our presentation.